Junior was well known for being quiet and stubborn, because his father was a very rich political man, with a lot of influence and relationships, even within the police. Everyone had warned him not to urinate on the strange stone located on the side of the road. But Junior, who claimed to be atheist and did not believe in supernatural phenomena, was convinced that the wealth of his father could protect him from everything. The university they attended had organized an excursion to Akak, a village known for being located in the eastern part of the country. Junior could have taken a flight, but the professor insisted that each student get on the bus, because the questions of their final exam would be taken from everything they would live on the way to the village and the cave. The trip from their starting point had to take 2 days. They left as soon as possible. Junior and his best friend Armel sat together in the bus, chatting and having fun at the start of the journey. However, at noon on the second day, the driver stopped at the side of the road, near the village they were going to join, so that the students could relax. Everyone got off the bus. Some used the public toilets available, while others entered a nearby restaurant to eat. But Junior was too proud. He thought public toilets were not his cup of tea, so he moved a few meters from the bus to a nearby forest to relax. Other boys followed him. As they were about to urinate in the forest, an old man appeared like magic. It is a sacred forest, the resting place of the Abodos, the most evil and vicious healer in this village. Save your lives and leave immediately, screamed the man, with a tone that resembled a warning. The other boys quickly fled the forest, followed by Armel and Junior. But when they returned to the bus, Junior began to laugh at the splashes. Don't tell me you believe this man. He's probably in his field, and doesn't want you to urinate here, he said. However, the other boys were not convinced, and told to Junior many stories about the danger of this region. But Junior did not believe them. On the contrary, he announced to them that he would return to this forest to urinate, and that nothing would happen to him. The other boys laughed at him, and encouraged him to try. Armel tried to warn Junior that his actions could have consequences. But Junior replied to him, I will prove to you that there is no paradise, no hell, no God, no Satan. You should bet on it. I will go into this forest to urinate, and nothing will happen to me. The other boys advanced from the money by defying him. If you can urinate in this forest and stay the same after 3 months, then you will be able to keep our money, says one of them. Junior laughed, took their money and entered the forest to urinate. They tried to stop him, but he pushed Armel back and plunged into the woods. He looked around him, and saw a strange stone with inscriptions engraved on it. He approached it and urinated on the stone. Once he had finished, he returned to the bus with a large malicious smile on his face. I told you, nothing will happen to me. Don't let yourself be trapped by all these superstitions, said Junior. One of the boys promised him that he would not survive 3 months. But Junior laughed at his words. Even your so-called God in paradise can do nothing against me. Since he does not exist, he replied, laughing again. They all got on the bus and started their journey again. As the bus was driving on the road, Junior fell asleep deeply and had a very scary dream. In this dream, he was very late and Junior was in the same forest, where the old man had advised him not to urinate. It was very dark, and he could see nothing. Suddenly, he felt a strong desire to urinate, a pressure he could not control. Junior quickly challenged his bra, and began to urinate. While he was urinating, many children suddenly appeared in the forest, as if by magic, pointing his finger and mocking him. Junior didn't understand what was going on, and couldn't stop urinating, even under their mocking gaze. Suddenly he woke up and discovered that all the students on the bus were in front of him. Apparently, Junior had urinated on him during his sleep, and the smell was so strong that everyone had noticed it. Junior was deeply ashamed and very embarrassed. All the students began to laugh at him, just like the children in his dream. When they finally arrived at the village of Akak, it was already night. Junior recorded himself at the hotel with his friend Armel, washed himself and changed. However, that night, Junior still had the same dream. When he woke up, he found Armel in front of him. Junior was still urinating on it, and had soiled the hotel bed. Everything was impregnated with an unpleasant smell. Junior told Armel about his dream, but he started laughing. I had advised you not to urinate in this forest, but you refused. Now look what's happening to you. Try to make sure it doesn't happen again the next time you find yourself in this situation, advised Harmel. But his words didn't change anything in Junior's state. When the students visited the village of Akak, Junior began to feel very tired. He got on the bus to take a little nap. But when he woke up, he discovered once again that he had urinated on it. Junior became very worried because he knew it was not normal. He made these mistakes and regretted not having listened to the other students when he had warned him not to urinate in the forest. In search of a solution, Junior met one of the boys he had bet with. He knelt down and begged him to help him. "Ah, I thought you didn't believe in the existence of God. Didn't you say that the wealth of your father could save you all?" He threw the boy named David. Junior, helpless, answered nothing, content to beg him, because he seemed like David was an indigenous from the village. After insisting for a moment, David agreed to help Junior. In the middle of the night, David led them, him and Armel, to the heart of the forest. It was very dark. The forest was dense and terribly quiet. Without their flashlight, they would have seen nothing. They walked for a long time, until they arrived in front of a small hut lit by an oil lamp. Junior and Armel were terrified. They wondered how such a hut could be in the middle of the forest, and who could live there. Their concern also grew towards David, not understanding how he knew this place. Arriving in front of the hut, David asked them to enter, but they were afraid. They realized, however, that they had no choice. Junior took the first step, but as he was about to enter, a deep and powerful voice cried, "Take off your shoes before the gods throw you away." Junior immediately took off his shoes, and Armel did the same. They leaned over and entered the dark hut, illuminated only by a candle. Inside, they saw an old man who seemed blind, his eyes covered in red cloth. The man asked them to sit on a carpet on the ground. "Please, sir, we need your help," said Junior with a trembling voice. "And you, Harmel?" answered the man with a deep voice, pointing to Harmel. "No, he is just my friend. I only accompanied him to find a solution," said Harmel. Shocked that the man knew his name, the old man burst out laughing hysterically. "But you didn't listen. You had the audacity to urinate on the most dangerous and cruel healer of this region." Junior kneeled down and pleaded the old blind man. "I'm sorry, sir. I was quiet. I should have listened. Please help me. I'm ready to do anything." Armel kneeled down on his side, and also pleaded for him. The old man asked them to sit down, made strange incantations, and shook his head with disappointment. He looked at them again and said, "The spirit of this man is very angry with you. You were lucky enough to come and see me now. Otherwise you would have died in 3 days. There is only one thing you can do to save your life, but it is very, very difficult." Junior and Armel looked at each other in silence, then stretched out on the ground, begging the old man to tell them what to do to save Junior's life. They promised him that they were ready for anything. After a few minutes, the blind old man asked them to sit down again. They took a deep breath and said to them, "Your mind has decided to be quiet, but it is the part of your body between your legs that has acted. To save your whole body, you will have to sacrifice either your ability to give birth or that of urinating." Junior and Armel remained stunned, unable to believe what they heard. Junior could not imagine sacrificing his reproductive organs, being the only son of his parents. He could not give up his urinary capacity either. He begged the blind old man to find another solution, but this one told them that it was the only way to save his life, and that he only had 2 days to decide. Then he asked them to leave the hut and come back once the decision was made. Before leaving, the old man added that he was not obliged to do so. He could bring someone else's organ in his place. They thanked him and left the hut. Back at the hotel, guided by David, Junior kept thinking about the old man's words, and was the eldest of 6 children. His whole family depended on him to survive, and his parents had sold everything to finance his studies. Armel was friends with Junior, mainly for the financial help he had, often helping him with his homework and examinations in exchange for money. The next morning, when Armel woke up, Junior asked him for a private discussion. "You heard what the old blind man said. You know I'm the only son of my parents. I need to have children," said Junior. Armel, confused, and not understanding why Junior was reminding him of all this, given that he was present during the old man's words. Can you sacrifice your own reproductive organ for me? I promise to pay you as much money as you want. You have many brothers and sisters. I'm sure your parents won't worry about it," asked Junior with a said Junior, full of pride and without any remorse. Armel, disappointed, moved away without a word, but Junior did not worry. "I'm sure he'll come back to beg me for this money," he said, leaving him too. The first day passed, and Armel refused to talk to Junior, which deeply anguished him. He knew that his fate depended on Armel's decision. He went to see David, the one who had spoken to him about the powerful healer, and offered him a large sum of money to offer his organs to God in his place. David refused categorically, even going to insult him. As the diviner had predicted, Junior died in his sleep, and only David and Armel knew the real reason for his death. They kept it for themselves, and continued their life after school. Armel got a very good job, and left his family from poverty, and he lived happily ever after. The moral lesson of this story reminds us to educate our children to be respectful and humble, no matter how rich they become in the future. Maybe Armel would have helped Juniors if they had asked him humbly. Wherever you are, always respect the culture and local traditions. Do not underestimate any culture or tradition. Money can solve many problems, but it cannot solve everything in life. Being rich does not make you invincible. If Junior had a different mentality, he would not have urinated there, even after being warned several times, because he thought he could solve all problems with money. No matter your current situation, always be optimistic that tomorrow will be better. If Armel had not been optimistic about his future, he would have sold his organs for peanuts.